Hi guys, Keys to the Rock, welcome back. Season 2, Episode 1. If you're doing the math, that is Episode 13. As always, Ben Rigo, joined by my good friend Daniel D. Went, if you've seen the truck, Woods. And Daniel, before we get into this new episode and new season, which we're very excited about, certainly some very somber news that happened at the end of last year. Our dear friend and colleague and, did a lot of aerial work and everything for us.
Yeah.
Romario
Simons passed away, at the end of last year. Great guy, great energy.
Yeah, young Bermudian guy.
And he did a lot of our aerial work and, popped into different episodes and, just good energy, good vibes. So he's definitely going to be missed from our entire team here at Keys to the Rock. And, just generally, just loss of a life of a young Bermudian who had so much promise. So we definitely wanted to acknowledge and pay our respects to
him and his family and everything. So, very talented young Bermudian who had such great aspirations of everything, into the engineering world and all sorts of things that he wanted to get involved in. So, a life taken from us too soon. So, So, this episode certainly and this season dedicated to him.
So, and with that,
and then I think, a black screen with his, and then now we're into the episode. That was good. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I'll take.
And we're back.
I'll take John. No, we're not.
Now,
we're back.
Anyways, let's get down.
All right, banter. No, you thank the Bacardi.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right. 3, 2, 1. So much appreciated everyone for supporting us last season. We had a fantastic season, and as we said in the last episode, which was at Bacardi, big thanks to Bacardi,
1862, I thought. Was it not?
I was checking you.
Okay.
1862 Bacardi Cocktail Bar. They hosted us for our last episode where we basically just did a sort of review of the season and everything like that.
Past guests and everything.
Yeah,
on there,
we grabbed people from the crowd and we had a great time. It was lovely. So big thanks to Bacardi. We'll see you again this year. If you haven't watched that episode, go watch that. It's out right now. And also, if you haven't watched episode 12, which was actually our last proper episode, we had structural surveyor
Mark Jordan
from
On-Site Engineering,
and he just provided great value. Because structural surveys is just sort of a necessity in these days. Mm-hmm. Just save yourself down the line, I think was the general premise that we took from the episode. Fantastic stuff. So as we're moving on, new season, all of that good stuff. New season equal new properties. Ben, where are we right now?
Well, today, in terms of, you mean the market or properties?
Where are we right now? What property are we at right now?
We are at the St. Regis Bermuda Residences, Jobson's Cove, which is this phase.
Jobson's Cove.
That is this completed phase. So there's the other one, Gates Bay, which is being built across the road. Mm-hmm. That, of course, is going to be wonderful and great and have spectacular views and all of that.
Pretty confusing that they name it after places that are actually...
Yeah, in a sense, but that one is going to be amazing. It's going to be brand new across the street. But again, you're looking at the back of this building. You're looking over the street and over the parking lot. And from some of the B-roll that I'm sure you've seen and everything, we actually mossed an incredible video aside from the podcast of this property.
That's where you arrived in a limo?
We arrived, in a Bentley out of massive respect to the driver. What a cool guy, Mohammed. So this property, though, direct facing the beach frontier at St. Regis. We're in the corner penthouse unit, and it has a private roof deck. This property, you could have 80 people on there, maybe 81, but it is a tremendous spot, and really, I think it's the premier penthouse, not only for this development, without a doubt it is, but, you've been into many properties. I don't know any other condominium that has beachfront plunge pool on the roof, this sort of modern amenities and everything. It is unbelievable.
This place is beautiful. Yeah.
And even just thinking to, the availability of a property like this. So non-Bermudians, of course, it's maybe not likely that a local a Bermudian is going to live.
Don't diminish us.
Well, no, they're going to live here. I'm talking about all of us. But it's a vacation style property, right?
Yeah.
And for non-Bermudians, they can only buy, in terms of condos, unless they're buying a house with an ARV over 126,000, they can only buy condominiums in hotel resort developments. So you got to do the bunny ears. So hotel resort developments, meaning Azura, Newstead, Tucker's Point. Really, there's not that many options. So if someone doesn't want to buy a house and they just want to lock up and go condominium, there is, I would say at this present time, less than 10 units on the market.
Yeah.
And for them, I mean, this is, again, the best option that someone can buy. If they want to buy a house at these price points, certainly they can do, but then there is so much more of worry and the running costs and, everything to do with that. So
just management.
This place is an absolutely special spot. And, looking forward to showing more people who are keen on it. So
nice.
I could keep talking about this condo. I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell.
I brought the colorful socks because I'm very excited about it.
We're not going to talk about your socks today. But you know who we are going to talk about?
Who?
The guy who dressed like you today. We have a great guest over there in the corner.
Yeah.
Kareem James, Senior Relationship Manager.
Yeah.
Senior Relationship Manager from Bermuda Commercial Bank.
BCB.BM.
Yeah.
I assume, was that what you were going for?
Yeah, man, we picked it up right where we left off. So he's going to give us a rundown, basically, on all you need to know banking. So we've had a previous episode with a banger, Stephen Simons last year from
Red Bank.
HSBC, Red Bank, HSBC. And now we have it on Kareem. And so the reason why I think that we wanted to essentially have another banker on this podcast is because of basically banks is the most vital part in a lot of real estate transactions.
And things, I mean, that was a
things
year.
change.
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago, yeah. So
things drastically changed.
things changed. So we said we'll start this season off with Kareem, and I've known him quite a long time. I think Ben, you've also
I went to school with him.
Yeah, so
I've known him longer than you. So isn't that right, Kareem? No, exactly. See, he acknowledges that.
you annoy me.
So Daniel, so we're looking forward to have Kareem on, and but looking to 2023, I know this is maybe a question that you would be asking me, but I'm going to ask you, and we can both comment on it. But where do we see the real estate market going this year? What sort of are you thinking from an appraisal side, especially in terms of values and demand?
Well, I think at this point in time, it's like first off, nobody has a crystal ball, right? So none of us are seeing the future as to
Wizards.
What's going to okay, wizards, yes. But what I would say is what we massively need, I think personally, and this is more for the rental side. We need much more supply.
Yep.
Especially if you go from even just outside of real estate, if we go to just the hotel rooms and stuff like that. A lot of things on the rental side I find are exorbitantly overpriced.
Yep.
I remember when I was renting when I was 23, 24. It was a very reasonable rent.
Yeah. At the zoo.
That
was the name of his place. That was the name of his house.
Stop
but that. But all that to say, and to piggyback on that from the rental perspective, there was a condominium I recently put online. It was the outgoing tenant is paying $8,000 a month. So I said to the owners, I was like, okay, to relist it because the tenants, they're moving on. I was like, we should maybe list it at 10 grand, see what happens. On one day I did 5 tours. I got 4 offers. One of the offers, actually 2 of the offers, was at $13,000 a month. And so when I told the owners even 10 grand, they were like, okay, we'd be happy with 8. Like, we love that. It's a 3-bedroom condo in Paget. And when we got offers at 13, $5,000 more is crazy.
And it's actually just ridiculous. And the issue that is probably a little bit closer to me, I'd say, is it's sort of pricing out the young Bermudians who are trying to go and get involved and, trying to go live on their own and do whatever they gotta do, right?
However, I will also say and she's been a guest on our show before, a wonderful co-friend of ours. I sold her. She's maybe in her late 20s. I sold her a 2-unit home about a year and a half ago or something like that, and just yesterday, I got an offer and rented a 1-bedroom side of her home that she owns for an amazing price. So it just goes to show that if you can find the right buys, and again, it's going to be great to talk to Kareem about this, but even for Bermudians looking to get on the property ladder, it is a big shame sometimes with how these rental values are going, but the investments are certainly there, as opposed to having your money sit in the bank, to let your money work for you. And
I think that's why, and I think that's why we want to have this episode. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like you don't want to be renting for your entire life, right?
Yeah.
Like, so the goal, I mean, everyone in this room, and I'm pretty sure these guys might even have questions later when Kareem's on. But I think the goal is that everyone eventually gets onto the property ladder, and that's why we chose Kareem as a guest. And I feel like, he's going to have a lot to say. And I think at this point, you guys can just get right into the episode with him.
Yep.
So, Kareem James, Senior Relationship Manager, Bermuda Commercial Bank.
BCB.BM.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back to Keys to the Rock, joined by my great friend and co-host, Ben Rigo. And big shout out to the sponsors.
Yeah. Great ads every time.
Yeah, without them,
we would not be here.
We'd still be here, but we'd be coming out of pocket.
We'd be very much out of pocket.
Yeah, it would suck.
Yeah. So,
but anyway,
thank you.
Moving on. Thanks to the sponsor. Big thanks to the sponsors. And one of the best episodes from last season was the banking episode. And we're gonna get into it. We've got a different banker from a different bank.
We had the Red Bank last time.
We had the Red Bank. Can't say their name because sponsorship duties. But we've got Kareem James, Senior Relationship Manager from Bermuda Commercial Bank, and he's here with us today. And we're basically just going to run through, it's one of those things that just has to stay fresh in people's minds, I take it, right? The number one question that I would say I always get, and I would assume it's quite similar to Ben with new buyers or, people interested in real estate, is how do I get started? Where do I start? And 9 times out of 10, unless you have some elaborate means, it starts at the bank, right? So, Kareem, we're going to just jump right over to you. Tell us about yourself, what you do, what your role is, your experience. Give us your rundown, sell yourself at the same time, right?
Yeah, sure.
We don't make this very gimmicky, but at the same time, this platform, let's use it.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, gents.
Good luck.
I appreciate it. So, Kareem James, Senior Relationship Manager, Bermuda Commercial Bank. I've been with the bank now for 7 going on 8 years. Prior to that, I worked at another financial institution on the island and also did some time.
Can't say the name.
No, if you Google me, you might find it. I also did some time at a bank in Toronto as well. So I've been a career banker thus far. What I currently do is relationship management for both corporate and higher net worth clients on the island. Really excited about the vision of BCB and what we've got going on. So, we'll get into more as we talk, but lots going on, lots to talk about. Excited to be here.
No, and I think we see it. I think we regularly see it.
There's, I would say with BCB and another bank, they're making some big moves, I would say, over the last year. Local, doing good things. So I guess we have to talk in code when we talk about that. But certainly what I want to talk about, especially as you alluded to with talking about real estate, is first time buyers. So often people are reaching out and they don't know where to start, what banks to speak to, or what the process is at all. Yeah. So is there any advice that you would have for how you begin that process with a first time buyer and things that they might need to do to get a pre-approval?
Yeah, sure. Well, specifically for us, there's a few items I'd go into, but the quick and dirty way of doing it is if you go to our website, www.bcb.bm, underneath the lending tab, there's a mortgage tab as well that specifically lists out all the items required for the mortgage. But to give you a quick run over, we'll obviously look at some of your banking statement background and things like that to kind of put together a financial profile of the potential borrower.
And allow them, and then you guys will get back to them within a time period to basically say, this is how much you guys can look to borrow at this time.
Absolutely. So some people come in.
And how long will that last, that pre-approval?
Sure. So if pre-approval come in, we kind of term it out for about 3 months.
Okay.
But there's no issue if the person comes back and say, look, I didn't find a property I liked within the first 3 months. Can you extend that out? There's no problem to do that, and that can get done very quickly as well.
So speaking just generally, is there any way that you can enhance your pre-approval? So basically, what are you guys necessarily judging? I guess the credit committee when they're looking at, this person's profile. Is there obviously you want it's the what is it, debt to income ratio?
Right, debt service ratio, loan to value. So I would say to answer your question, how can someone present themselves in the best light possible so their debt service ratio looks great? I would say a big thing is obviously just being disciplined with your savings. Obviously easier said than done. I notice also a lot of people, they come in, you may want to actually look at your credit card limit and things like that, maybe reducing that in anticipation of the loan application. That's a small hack I would give to people that are looking at.
And people need these, right? There's like little gems, and that's the platform that you guys are trying to actually offer, right? So, so I'm gonna jump in on another question because you sort of mentioned it with the saving side of things. I know BCB. I saw a nice write up in the paper and everything like that. You guys are actually offering. Well, you can speak to it more than me, but there's a program or
yeah, sure. It's called the Bermuda Government Guarantee Program. So it's a really good program designed to help young Bermudians get on the property ladder. As millennials or Gen X's or Z's, whichever one it is, it's a bit different than the Boomer generation of how they had a lot of cash growing up and it was easier for them to get on the property ladder. For us, the local banks, for the most part, they require 20% to 30% down payment. With this program, it requires 10% cash from the individual, which is a lot less. And then the Bermuda government, they provide a guarantee for the other 10%. So
is that 10%? So that would just go towards the deposit, though, on the purchase, I would imagine. Yeah.
Correct. So basically, the government isn't providing any cash. It's simply providing a guarantee for that 10%. So throughout the term of the mortgage, as it's paid off, as the person is doing well on that, the LTV, or the loan to value ratio improves, the debt service to ratio positively improves, the guarantee can fall away. That's the purpose of it. So for the specific program, the government has earmarked $50 million for the program.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That could be one purchase.
For phase one. Phase one.
Nice,
so
nice.
more to come, hopefully.
And so what separates this from, I guess, is this sort of open to anyone, or is there specific requirements to be appropriate for this?
Yeah, so there are some criteria. So I think the maximum age at the moment is 40 years old, or in their 40th year, or going on to 41, somewhere around there. But 40 is the technical maximum.
So Ben can't get it. All right, cool.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I wish. I actually like being older than what I am. I lie about my age to be older. You sound more established and credible.
You should wear glasses. I do. These are great.
True. Do you comb the grays on as well, just to make yourself look old? Yeah, true.
And I don't wear pink socks.
Oh no, I'm just trying to stand out.
Love the parrots, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you, mate.
Where's
Thank
your
you,
pink
thank
socks? You guys
Well,
are
Kareem and
matching.
I are matching. I know.
Yeah, you guys are matching, by the way. I didn't get the memo, obviously. But
No worries.
Let me jump in. One question I have, and I mean, even myself as a real estate agent, if I were to go for a pre-approval, or I know there's one couple I'm thinking right now that I'm working with, and actually I'm not sure what bank they're dealing with, but they have side hustles, they're entrepreneurial, and they have a actual career. But the bank that they're dealing with, and again, I can check into that, but they actually don't take into account their non-consistent income that they have from other little endeavors that they do. So like for me, I have no consistent income. I might have 5 closings in a month, or I might not have a closing for 5 months.
Consistent income.
Well, it comes in.
Number one real estate agent in Bermuda.
There's no salary.
Yeah,
I know. There's no salary. So how does the bank look at people like that?
Yeah, sure. So we have lots of people that are sole proprietors or own their own businesses. So we also have a different set of criteria for them, but we can also definitely assist. We've definitely had people that have that sort of peaks and valleys income. There's a few things that we ask for. Happy to, again, send you back to the website, www.bcb.bm.
You just keep leading us to the website, man.
It's a great website.
He gets paid on hits on website.
Shout out to the team. But for the fans at home, just a few of the items you might look at: your bank statements, financial statements for the business, tax returns. Not really fun or sexy things. That's why I keep plugging the website.
So,
Well, that's all interesting for Daniel because he knits little kitten sweaters and stuff like that as a side hustle. So maybe taking those,
D-Red.
taking your earnings from that into account.
So at this time, we're going to say that we're also looking for a new co-host.
Exactly.
So if anyone wants to sit right here, by all means.
Or right there.
Kareem, actually, you are dressed, so you could.
You could be
that's
me.
A straight
All right,
swap.
I'll go grab my parrot socks. I'll be right
Grab
back.
your
Yeah,
parrot
I could give you
socks
these.
and
I could give you
everything. That'll be good. So tell us about what's the current interest rates that you guys are offering right now? And then on top of that, I'm going to give you a double header question. If someone doesn't have, 10% is manageable in these times. But at the same time, if you don't have that 10%, if you don't have that 20% for a regular loan, if you're over 40 or whatever the case may be, is there other opportunities available in that sense? So interest rate,
Absolutely.
ways of getting the down payment.
Sure. So as it pertains to the interest rate, we have the lowest base rate on the island, 3% at the moment.
What was that?
3% for our base rate.
May I ask how?
How? Sure, not a problem. So for us, BCB historically hasn't been a big player in the mortgage game. So to kind of increase our market share or attain some market share, we have to be competitive on cost. So ultimately, the other banks have much higher base rates, but with that comes much higher profitability for them. So we're giving a little bit back to the client.
Smaller shop that's able to manage and shift, adapt.
Absolutely, and we can increase our book.
Is that fixed?
No, so currently that is not fixed. So that's a variable rate. So you're looking at, for most people, we're looking at kind of the base rate of 3 plus a spread of 2 to 2.5. For the government mortgage guarantee program, they have specifically negotiated a lower rate of 5. That is variable, so 3% base rate plus a 2% spread. For most other applicants, it's 2.5% spread or up.
Okay. Well, you know.
But still, again,
Ben
very
doesn't have a clue
competitive.
what you're talking about right now. He was always a history major. Never really, he didn't.
Good at English.
He didn't
Gotcha.
pay attention. He didn't pay attention enough.
No.
And so then the other,
All false. All false.
and so then the other question, other means of what assets or what else can act as the down payment if there's any opportunity, collateral.
So kind of differentiating two things. So for the government guarantee program, it must be cash. For other people that are approaching, we're happy to use other assets, potentially to underwrite a deal. So that can include securities, that can include another property that's owned by a loved one, parent, etc. We're happy to look at those sorts of scenarios to help people get on the property ladder.
And those properties have to get appraised, obviously.
Absolutely. I can think of a few good registered and qualified appraisers.
I know a guy.
Maybe even in the room.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
I mean, there's only really a few though. Actually, I saw someone else in the paper the other day that just got RIC certified.
Yeah, well, so it's different variations of surveying. So he's a quantity surveyor. Great chap. We'll probably have him on, if not next episode, the episode after.
He could be a new co-host as well.
He could actually be.
Yeah, true.
So I like him more than you.
True. So what about refinancing options? Do you get a lot of people contacting you guys for that?
Yeah, it's a great time for that. There's a lot of interest on our end to do refinancing from the other institutions, and currently with the rates that we're offering, we're getting a lot of interest from mortgage people with mortgages at all the other local banks. So it's a great time for that. Takes a bit of time to get done, but a lot of interest. We're eager to do it.
And so it's Bermuda Commercial Bank. But are you guys open to, I guess, not necessarily foreign investment, but
We're loaning for overseas purchases.
Overseas purchasers, or how does that work?
We've had quite a bit of interest for that. So for individuals that are looking to buy property overseas, we're happy to assist. The caveat to that is, as a local bank Bermudian entity, we can't take charge or pledge over an asset outside of Bermuda. So what happens is some people, they'll use a free and clear property in Bermuda to help secure that purchase overseas. So there's no issues with that. We get a lot of interest for that.
And then what about people coming in, or people like a foreigner trying to purchase the property?
Got you.
Like that.
So I would kind of defer to the government on some of that. But as long as the individual is licensed and approved to hold Bermuda land, we're happy to engage them on financing. That's not a problem at all. As long as they have the appropriate collateral and security to protect the depositor's money, we're happy to have a look at those sorts of scenarios.
Top. Yeah. He's been banging his whole life, so he loves money. So Kareem, what would you say from your perspective? What's your opinion on? I mean, we have our own opinion, but certainly on how the market's doing. I mean, have you guys seen your book of business and all of this drastically improve over the last couple of years, or?
Yeah, it's a very competitive market, as you would know as a real estate agent. Inventory is a bit of an issue on the island at the moment.
You've been looking around?
Absolutely, personally.
I know.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can make something
I
work.
know.
Hey, guys, stop that.
Okay, we're back.
All right, let's get back.
Yeah.
So with that, I think that kind of affects kind of the volume of transactions for kind of brand new mortgages. But the refinance side, we're seeing a lot of volume there, and the government program has been really helpful as well for helping first-time owners.
Quite a bit of interest in that, yeah?
Absolutely. Tons and tons of interest. Huge volume of requests. And I would say it's timely because a lot of the inventory that's left on the market, the price range is well suited to individuals that want to get on the property ladder. So
Clear of stamp duty type that.
Clear of stamp duty, whether it be the condos, etc. So that's one other point I should have mentioned. The maximum value of a property within this program is 1 million BMD.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely honorable mention for that. So, and we talked about the appraiser, and I'm not trying to make this about myself, but seriously, it was one of our questions that we had said that we was going to discuss. What part does the appraiser, from a banking perspective, where does the appraiser come into play?
Yeah, sure. So for the bank, we have an approved list of appraisers and valuation companies. For them, it's very important. For us, it's very important because that is the prime piece of collateral as it pertains to mortgages. So we put a lot of reliance on these individuals. What happens is during the process, an individual may have already had an appraisal from a company. We're happy to receive that and get the conversation started on a mortgage proposal, but we normally have the appraisers work directly for us or address the valuation specifically to us for our purpose of ensuring we know what the security is valued at.
And so how long does the appraisal last for? And what happens if the appraisal, I guess, say they purchase a property from Ben for $950, but the appraisal comes in at $800 of the property. How does that work?
Yeah, that's fair. So from the bank's
one of the biggest frustrations of my life when this happens.
I can assure you. I'm sure.
Ben,
No,
shut
but
your mouth.
anyway,
Shut
no.
your mouth.
I'll explain more.
Right. So everyone's overpaying for your properties. Gotcha. Good job. Just kidding.
Supply and demand. That shows what it's worth, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Ben, I'm not asking you questions, bro.
D went. Be quiet.
Kareem, what was the first question now? I've already forgot.
No, speaking about you were saying with appraisals, if they appraise it lower than
the timeline.
what the accepted
First
and
point.
the timeline, yeah.
So the timeline.
Sure. So we current policy and guideline is to have it no older than 3 months.
3 months, okay, yeah.
Which I think is pretty standard for local banks. If it falls about that, there can be an exception process, but we tend to prefer it to be within that 3 month window. And with regards to the other question about, if the value of the property is lower than the sale price, most banks in the island, they tend to go off of the appraised value, taking a conservative view as it pertains to the security value. But I would say there was always exceptions, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what the scenario. So we're happy to have a look if someone wants to challenge that appraisal value. But for the most part, we tend to go off the appraised value versus the sale value.
And then you will finance to the appraised value.
Because then the buyer has to, they have to cover the difference, or you can get another. I mean, I don't know how you guys think about it, but you get another appraisal done, which again the buyer, might be reluctant to pay another $1,000 or something. Get another one done, and then sometimes I've heard from different banks that they won't look at the average or anything. They actually would just look at the one that is preferable, the higher one. So I've heard that too. So I don't think it's etched in stone as to how you look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always a little bit of wiggle room. Happy to look at exceptions based on the property type itself.
Yeah.
How the bank views it as an asset. So we're happy to have a look.
Nice. U.S. dollars. You guys operate in that or finance on mortgages?
Yeah, happy to assist. We obviously have a lot of individuals on the island that work in industries where they earn in USD, or we have foreign investors that come in and they want to purchase in USD. So we're happy to provide USD financing. Yen. Yeah. Not something that's on the radar right
Drachmas?
now. I would say pretty much BMD to USD. Yeah. But if you have a ton of yen and you want to do an foreign exchange to USD, please come and see us. We'd love to make some money off you in that way.
Sure.
And obviously, so can you run us through the process? I mean, because I personally don't have a BCB account. Looking to set one up now after this conversation and just generally. Fantastic. But give us the rundown on the process of just getting set up as a BCB customer, because I assume you have to be a BCB customer to then go ahead and take advantage of this program or just generally financing. Yeah.
It's a great point. So I would say for those who are interested in applying, if you're not a BCB customer,
BCB.bm.
You beat me to it. Yeah. So if you're not a BCB customer, you can still apply for a mortgage before being a customer, and we can sort that out after. I would say to have a mortgage with us, you would ultimately have to have an account, but that can be done post-approval process. Yeah. So if you want to ensure that you're qualified first, we're happy for you to reach out and apply for the program or for a mortgage. and then as we get to an approval, we can do the account opening after that. If you do want to apply, we also have digitization is very important to us. We have an online application that is
bcb.bm.
www.bcb.bm.
Okay, so I think we're gonna have to learn that if sponsor.
We need to have that website.
I'm thinking about a
somewhere
tattoo.
floating
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a tattoo.
You're thinking about tattoo.
yeah.
Jeez, that's aggressive. All right. Well, I mean, Ali, swipe right. Do we have any more questions? No? All right. I mean, not that we're going off of a question.
Not that we're going off of a question board, but it's like Tinder over here.
What's that?
What's
I don't know.
I have known nothing about buying a house. So getting a mortgage is something I don't understand at all. For someone that knows nothing about the process, what would you recommend?
All right. So I'm gonna
The first ever question from the audience.
So I'm gonna.
I liked it.
I'm gonna re-ask Moss's question just so it can be said on the mic. So Moss said basically, I thought, you know what? Anyway, I love Moss. Moss asks basically, he knows nothing about how to purchase a property, getting a mortgage, anything of that nature. And I think it's actually quite common, right? Because a lot of people, I think I said it even one of the previous episodes. My barber was like, "So what do you mean? I could just go into the bank?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and it was just like almost, I'm not going to say like a fear, but a hesitation or just a lack of education, knowledge, and hence why we created this platform, right?
Absolutely.
But so what would you advise to someone similar to our great esteemed videographer Moss?
Absolutely. I would say don't hesitate to reach out, call, email. Show up. We get requests like that all the time where people just aren't familiar with the process, and that's fine. As generations improve, financial literacy improves. So we have no issue with people coming in, reaching out to ask general questions. We're happy to do that. It happens on a daily basis. Reach out to us. We're on 34 Bermuda Road. Again, www.pcb.pm.
We're not gimmicky. I said we're not gimmicky.
Yeah. No, but honestly, I would recommend doing that before even starting your home buying or commercial real estate buying search, because you need to understand the parameters of what you are going to be supported for, and not just walk into dreamland and be touring properties that you might not be able to afford.
Ben's time.
Wait, yeah.
Wait, that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Ben's like, if you're pre-approved for 900, why?
I'm not showing you a $2 million
I'm
house.
showing you just penos. No, show me that you're approved for it.
Exactly.
But,
That's why I don't show Daniel properties. But yeah, no. But true. But no, it is important to start that process right away. And yeah. And again, don't be scared if you've never had a relationship with BCB to be able to approach
so
them.
I think what it comes down to, right? Like, is and I'm speaking from my own experience, right? It's like one of those things. I've just started opening up new bank accounts at every bank. Now that's also sort of business sense of understanding that, but at the same time, in your 20s, you're just like, you get started an account, and I assume this is quite similar for what Monster sort of speaking to. You've got this account set up wherever it's set up, and that's your account.
Yep.
And then you just sort of lean off of that. You don't sort of voyage out. It's just like a sort of unspoken loyalty, right? Which I think the education just needs to be out there of like the opportunities, and like I was talking to my mates last night about airline miles and stuff like that, and the perks of that a lot of us, I feel like, don't really fully get to take advantage of in Bermuda. With using your points for this and using, so it's just.
I just got new golf clubs on points yesterday. So exactly to that point.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Callaway's.
I'm not going to ask which bank.
No.
I think it'll be awkward.
Actually, no bank. Just a credit card. Yeah.
No bank. So it's American Airlines.
Are you just going to guess? You want to look through my wallet? But anyway,
I
think we should wrap it up. But Kareem, any other points that you want to make, or
stands out that you want to?
Sure. I see we have a question from the audience.
Oh,
well, this is like a new thing.
Season 2.
I know.
Questions from the audience. Love it.
Do I need to turn my mic for her? I don't know.
So, I just really want to hear your opinion. Obviously, we're sort of heading into a recessionary environment. Do you have anything to say around that? Do you sort of recommend people hold off in terms of getting mortgages, or actually be proactive and get them before we head into that environment?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, I would say, yeah, it's a great question. First of all, I'd say it's always good to look at property. I think I heard a quote from someone where it said, "Don't wait to buy property, buy property and wait.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
Ben
yeah,
does.
yeah. No, that's a great quote. That's a great quote. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a great point. There's been a lot of speculation about potential recessions coming up, and then with that, I think what's being potentially caused by that is the rising interest rate environment. The great thing about BCB is that we're looking to provide a competitive option to people that are saying, "Look, my interest rate has been raised the last few quarters by my bank. What can you do to help lower my payment, keep my cost of living down?" So it's still a good time to come. Whether you're looking for a new mortgage, you're looking to refinance, cost is key, price is key. If we can help with that, happy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what? That's how we end it. That is an answer. All right.
Thank you, Kareem.
Kareem James, senior banking
Relationship
manager at BCB, Bermuda Commercial Bank, bcb.bm. Great guy. So reach out to him if you have any more questions. I think at this time we sort of say we're going to have his information.
Yeah. Floating around
somewhere or something like that. But yeah, reach out to him. Kareem, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And look forward to
banking with you.
Thank you.
You're going to set up an account now.
Yeah. So Kareem James.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks.
Thank you, fellas.
All right. Thank you so much to Kareem. That was great to have him on. And, he really just gave some valuable insight to everything banking going forward this year. And, it's going to be a very interesting year for the real estate market. Low supply as well on the sales side of things. So really, it's kind of my daily mission to tell landlords or potential sellers that we do need the inventory, and you'll be unbelievably pleasantly surprised at the level of activity and traction that you're going to get for your home, whether it's for sale or for rent. We need that inventory. That is absolutely huge. Daniel, keys to the episode. What's your key?
My key would be go talk to your banker. Or go build that relationship. Go reach out to a relationship manager. We had some great questions from our team / audience. And I think, a huge takeaway would be is, put your foot in the pool, jump in. Sorry.
Dive in. And
I hate you. Go ahead.
But for me, the main key, and we've said this time and time again, but it is so incredibly crucial. But to get your pre-approval, and certainly as BCB says, that only lasts 3 months. Certainly, if you're not going to, more than likely, find the property that you're ideally wanting to purchase within 3 months.
Did they say the pre-approval lasts 3 months, or the appraisal lasts 3 months?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but obviously, you would want to get that updated. I'm sure they take into account any change in assets and earnings and stuff. But
and it was a great episode. Really insightful from Kareem for sure.
That's super important, so that where you're likely to be able to purchase. So that you can have a targeted approach, because in this market, low inventory, things are moving so quick. I did a story post of a dock the other day on Instagram, and it just had loading, and Instagram was getting flooded with people. Like, oh, waterfront, where? A dock, deep water dock? How big of a boat? Like all this kind of stuff.
You're so popular.
No, but popular in real estate. But the moment that goes online, I know over the next week I'm going to have 10 plus tours there. So those kinds
people
of
just
property,
wasting your time. They're not pre-approved.
Some of them, maybe they just have big boats, but that's a tough asset to keep. But ultimately, that's going to go quickly. So if you want to be competitive with any property for that, niche
have your ducks
sort of
in a
thing,
row.
you have to be ready to act quickly. So
Nice. What's next?
I think you wanted to touch upon the program, the government program as well.
Did I?
Yeah.
Go bcb.bm. 10% is much better than 20, 30.
Yeah.
Other people asking. It's got to be cash, so you can't use collateral in a sense. But at the same time, 10%.
That's significant.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a helping hand for sure. So for sure.
Small business shout out, Daniel. I know it could be medium business shout out. It doesn't have to be small, but not large. So
not large.
Who do we have? Who do we have today?
BCB.
Oh.
I'm just I think the small business shout out for this week, I was brought to my attention by an avid listener. He had mentioned, I don't even have a pet, so I don't know how the conversation came up, but waggies.bda on Instagram, and they have a great website where they do all of the products and delivery and stuff like that. Do you have any pets, Ben?
2 children, and I am my wife's pet. So yes.
So yeah, you can get yourself some dog food. And no, but I think we're going to go to like a little screen of what their offerings are and their website and whatnot, and some of the videos that they have. And honestly, it was like just they're extremely well put together. And I think sometimes no, actually we don't. We're not very niche on the small business shout out. So, it got brought to my attention and they said they'd be happy for a shout out. And, here we are. So go check out waggies.bda. It's made in Bermuda, local entrepreneurs.
One could always say a small business shout out could be DW Entertainment.
This guy.
Couldn't it? Could it not be?
This guy just vexes me.
DW Entertainment, 5 companies.
So, like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is the first episode of season 2. So we've made great strides. Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you haven't checked out any of the previous episodes, by all means, go check our YouTube, our website, and go give a look. Thanks for watching. And
I would also say, for any future episodes, if you want to be interviewed, if there's any unique locations, properties, anything like that, any potential future sponsors, do reach out to us. And, it's going to be a pretty amazing year with the stuff that we have lined up. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. And if any real estate needs, obviously.
Yeah, any questions?
Shameless plug for both of us. Reach out to Ben on the agency side. Reach out to myself on the appraisal side. We'd be happy to help you guys out. So, with that.
That's that. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy. See you guys next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.